Everybody, to today's finance meeting for Cumberland County. We hold these generally on topics of interest in terms of county's budget and programs and our efforts to reconcile costs and revenues. Today we're going to shift focus a little bit. We all know that in this day and age, communication isn't just through speeches and meetings, but a lot of it takes place on the internet and social media. We have had a staid web presence for many years, a good website by standards of about 10 years ago. But I think we have been left somewhat in the dust, and we had started working a while back on the redesign of our website from two different angles. One is to make it more visually appealing and have more capabilities to better communicate and to navigate, to find essential information for our citizens. And also to take a second look at our content management policy to ensure that none of the material on our website is older than I am. And I think right now we have a number of candidates for that dubious distinction. So our communications team, along with our IMPO folks, have been working hard on this, and I think we are now going to show you what we got.
Okay. I'm just going to start you off a little bit to let you know the process to get us to the point that we are today, to show you the prototype of what we hope to launch very shortly. Our current website was launched in 2007, so it's about 8 years old, which makes it pretty old in the website world. But most importantly, it's not how long it's been out there, but it's the fact that it can't really do what we need it to do in this day and age to stay current in the digital engagement age. So we started looking at other county websites in the state, as well as other websites by our current folks at Civic Plus to see what they had to offer out there, and started looking at features that we were hoping to be able to utilize and what we were lacking. The big things were improved navigation and the ability to have more control over the look and the feel of our website. What we have right now is pretty stagnant, and we're stuck with the images and everything like that. So started working with those folks, and we've been working with Civic Plus since then to give them our ideas and our list of wants and needs, as well as giving them a pretty lengthy list of websites that we really either liked the function of it, the navigation, or the look and feel of it. And then Chris also provided them with a good number of photographs from Cumberland County for them to get a good feel for our county and the makeup of it, to help them kind of plan out graphically what our new website would look at. And I'm going to turn it over to Mark and George to kind of show you the prototype. Again, it's very early stages. This is just what Civic has kind of put together, and then Heather's going to talk about the content management plan that we formulated.
Yep, so let's take a step back a little bit and see where we are today. A couple of points. You're all familiar with the current website. It hasn't changed, as Megan says, since 2007. Although the content has changed, it's the same pictures, it's the same look and feel, it's the same navigation, and so it's definitely time for a change in that way. People are finding it difficult to find information. There's limited space for content, especially on the home page, and so this new website is really going to focus on the home page more than anything else. Like I said, navigation is difficult to find information. The way the menus operate on this system, they fly out the side, and everything gets hidden and thrown in opposite directions, and it's just cumbersome for the users to use. So we want to make it a lot easier for them to use and navigate and find information, relevant information, current information. George, go ahead. So this is what Civic Plus has come up with for our new look. Again, this is just a prototype, first draft. So of our website, it's some of the content migrated over. We're working to change that content, but this is the first view of what the public is going to be seeing. It's got a lot of graphical appeal, which appeals to all the users in the community. Some of the things that happens here, if you refresh the screen, the background image behind it changes. These are things that we can change. So in the past, we couldn't change the images, we couldn't change the background, we couldn't change a lot of the features that we want within the site. So we can certainly make some modifications to that. The second thing you'll see here is the images right on the main page. These are what they call a slideshow. Their current website, those images stay the same, and we really have no control over how often we do that unless we pay Civic Plus money to do that information. So now we'll have more control over these images that scroll across the page. We can have however many number we want. We can have them linked to certain content. So if you're featuring something specific, we can create an image, and that's why we have communication staff on board to present that, and then we can link that right to the content that the community is looking for.
One question on that. It's not Flash based, is it? I believe it's JavaScript based. JavaScript. Okay.
If you scroll down a little bit, we have the news, the calendar, and a new area called popular links. And this is created through the use of tabs. The news and the calendar are things that we have today. It's visible right on the main page of our intranet. That information will stay the same. We're just reworking the page so that we have more white space or more space to put more content. And that was a thing that we didn't like about the old site. We'll have more than 3 news articles on the home page and those type of things. So we have a lot of flexibility, and we can change that up. The tab we have listed as popular links. That is just a way for us to identify some key links that the public is looking for. And we can change this page based on search results. So if you see a lot of people are searching for GIS web mapping, we make that a popular link. People are looking for course schedules, we make that a popular link. And that's an easy way for people to navigate and find information quickly. If you scroll down a little bit further, we have a what's happening page. And this is new. This now, in the past, we had a spotlight section on our website. That was, the spotlight was in the bottom right-hand corner of the site. It blended in with the rest of the pages. It really didn't showcase anything. So this is a way where we have at least 3 different areas where we can spotlight. In the past, we could only spotlight one specific area. Well, now we can at least spotlight 2, 3, maybe even 4 different areas within the county. So if we want to have a spotlight on elections, we want to have a spotlight for the new transitions at the nursing home, the non-parity filing system, we have a place that says this is new and upcoming, this is what you should be interested in, and it's a way to advertise that information. If you scroll, at the very bottom, we have a footer page. This is just common practices for websites, is to have contact information, how to use the site, some quick links, and some frequently asked questions. And that's kind of the things that we have currently, just different locations on our website. If you notice, as you've been scrolling through this page, there's a darker area on the left-hand side. This scrolls with you or stays with you as you scroll up and down. Again, this is another navigation for users to get to common areas within the website. Currently, those are forms and documents, which we could change that, or we could include a link right to important documents, maybe some press releases. Maybe there's a link for press releases if that's a common place that people are looking for. And these are things that we're still, like I said, this is the first draft, so we're looking at key areas where we need to showcase and get people to get to that content quickly.
Do you have a limit on the number of icon links you can put there? Can you go?
That I don't know. I think
scroll.
I'm not sure if 4 is the max or not. We'll have to check this to see if that is currently the case. We do have flexibility with those right now, though. We have the ability to change the names. We have the ability to change the links. The Notify Me is a portion where people can sign up for alerts and notifications to specific documents or pages that may change. There's a section for submit a request. We don't really do that now, but there's other areas we'd like to do. There's a community voice area which we don't utilize, but that might be a good way to get feedback from the public. So there are models in the system that we'd like to use. The link to what's happening simply takes you down to those bullet points at the bottom, those three featured areas that we have access to change. Now these, in general, the navigation at the very top and the navigation, the footer, and these links on your left-hand side stay with you as you navigate through the site. So if anytime you want to get back to what's happening from a sub-location or a sub-page, you can click that and it takes you right back to the home page.
So I like the search bar up on top because maybe somebody that's looking for something may not know exactly what department it's in or whatever. So essentially, what is that, a word? It's a word, you put a word in there.
Yeah, it's a text search somewhere between
And
Google.
it'll take you to,
Dog license.
yeah.
Dog license.
So I'll jump ahead to that upper right-hand corner. We have a couple features, and the search is the biggest one up in that right corner. And in the past, it was kind of shifted over to the left and smaller, and it makes it more prominent here and easier for users to find information. To the left of the search, we have some tools. There's a share, so people can actually share the county page on their Twitter page or on their LinkedIn page or Yahoo or any of those type of shared social media sites. There's the little toolbar, the little, the gears there allows people to print or email the page or log into the system and get into their account and see their notifications and those type of profiles that they've set up. Again, this is the prototype. We're looking at changing some of this information. We want to make it easier for people to log in and change their profile.
Okay, so the intranet logs into that way.
This would be the same way for the
Okay.
intranet, which we do today. It's through a different process to the intranet.
Right.
While you're on that topic, one of the features with the new rollout of the website is that county employees can now log in with their network login ID. So in the past, it had a special login to the intranet, a special login for the network. This is to make it so much easier for the
Don't laugh.
So, but yeah, people forget their
Seriously,
password
we do.
all the
It's like,
time.
how many do you need?
And HR puts out a new document for employees to get
Well,
to.
yeah.
It's like the Maytapers pyramids. They won't need us, they won't need them anymore.
Okay, good.
So huge benefit for the employees
Yeah.
in that part. So we like that feature quite a bit.
On the search bar, you see that's Google?
It's a Google.
It's within the site.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, the search is done with the underlying Google.
I don't know if it's Google's.
It's not Google based.
It's not, okay.
Yeah.
Do we know if, one of the nice things with Google's, you plug in something and it'll bring a series of prompts up, and sometimes you can select that anticipates what your search may be. And I can imagine in this type of website, you would have a pretty limited universe, of what the general topic matter would be. Will we have that kind of capability?
I don't think they allow complete.
Okay.
So this search is a full universe search on
Google.
Google. It is not within,
It's within our
The-
website.
No, it's within the website.
it's within the website.
Just within the website.
Okay.
It's within the website. In fact, we actually tried this morning and actually took us back to their, our current site. So they haven't finished tying all the pieces
Right.
together, but, it is.
Otherwise, you type dog licenses and you get Bakersfield, California. dog.
Or Cumberland, Maryland.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Tennessee.
Let's continue on with the navigation. We have the new menus across the top. We have a different way to categorize them. We're going to improve on how we do that. We have it limited to 4 areas at the moment: government, services, community, and how do I. These are called mega menus in the current structure. So instead of having flyouts that hide and show things as you hover them, this shows everything in one shot, so you can at a glance kind of look at what you're looking for. It's easy to find information. I can see it all right in front of me, and I just scroll over and click on what I want to get to. A lot easier navigation, a lot easier for the end user, and that's what we're trying to accomplish out of that. Further, there's another spotlight area within these mega menus over to the right, where you can include a picture or highlight a certain aspect from within that mega menu. So there's a spotlight on the planetary for e-filing. When it gets into their site, it can post another spotlight in that area.
And Warren Gibson is our new intern, right?
But the benefit to this is we do have a lot of flexibility to change all this information. As long as we have the basic structure here, we have free will to change almost, I would say, 95% of the site when we need it and as we need it and as often as we need it. First, you want to go to a subpage now? So this is a look at the current commissioner's homepage. Similar content, similar look and feel, similar icons. So they just migrated some of this data over, but it's got a much larger white space. I think your eye goes right to this white page, the core content you're trying to provide, and then you have the menus over on the left-hand side. Again, if you look at the far left, you have the forms to notify me, those types of, that left and F bar sticks with you on all these pages, so it's a benefit for getting people back to where they want to get to.
One question on that, Mark. You've got, this looks very different up on the big screen. So as you look at this, you've got essentially 4 columns of text, 4 separate columns of text. Is the main body text going to be large enough, on a regular size screen for that to be easily legible?
We found it to be very legible. George, do you want to jump into the mobile?
You want to try it on the phone?
Yeah. In the new site, we're actually using something what they call a responsive design. And the idea is to, rather than having a mobile version of the site, several different templates for the site, depending on whether you're on a tablet or a mobile phone, the site itself actually reconfigures itself for whatever device you happen to be using at the time. So you can see as we close down, elements of the page start shrinking and reconfiguring to the point where this would be similar to what it would look like on a mobile phone, where the content reconfigures into a longer format. You still have all the links and everything available to you, and even the links on the side get bumped down. But this way, regardless of what type of screen you're looking at, you still get the same content on there.
It's interesting, in the past practice 10 years ago or 8 years ago, scrolling was a bad thing. And these days with smartphones and tablets, that's the way people navigate these days. So this is, we looked at some of the different sites where they have features at the very bottom, but that's common for people to scroll down and see the information. So, and then this responsive design is a great way to put them on websites. I mean, people today are using their phones or tablets more so than they are on their computer logging into websites. They need their websites right on those phones, and this is a great tool to provide to the employees and to the public. And that's all I have for the website. And that's everything else. I'll turn it over to Heather to talk about the content.
I'm going to talk about the website content management policy that we drafted, which you should have a copy in front of you. Our slide presentation today is an overview of the key components of that policy and just give you a layout of what our plan is to manage the content. So a primary goal of the website is to tell the county's story to the public and demonstrate the value of our services to the taxpayers. And with the redesign, we believe that you will see that the changes are geared toward providing essential information to the public while keeping the content consistently fresh. So I hope you can, from what you saw there from the prototype, that you would agree that it's an improvement aesthetically. And our plan is to continually use visuals to enhance the site's content. And the redesign, as Mark mentioned, the navigation is much more user-friendly and folks will be able to find things more easily. With the redesign, the communications department will be taking a lead role in the management of the website in terms of its content and the ongoing web strategy. INTO will remain responsible for establishing the technical criteria used to develop the web pages and will continue to provide technical support, including training to the content administrators at the department level.
And does that come out of your budget?
The training, we do have that.
I mean, this whole piece,
Yes.
the website comes out of your budget.
Correct,
All
yeah.
right, just wanted to check.
So the departments are the subject matter experts, but we are going to remain with the current process of departments will assign content administrators responsible for developing and editing their respective web pages. Our role as the communications department, our strategy to help manage the overall content is to have a division of responsibilities, and each team member will serve as a liaison to the departments. The liaison will work with the assigned content administrators on a regular basis to constantly assess and edit on content. And then social media. Departments that assume the social media efforts should have a stated purpose. I don't think that's 14 minutes. We want the departments, if they have a purpose for using social media, they should come to both IMTO and communications department before establishing an account. So we're aware what social media tool they want to use and what the purpose of it is. I just want to touch on that a little bit. We can get into some more of the social media. I'll let you speak to that then. We also thought that it was important to have a governance committee to review and approve requests for any structural changes to the website.
So who is going to sort of take that large calendar to say March, domestic violence month, or
We are.
October?
That's part of-
September, emergency preparedness. In other words, I get the subject matter experts, but how fresh and how timely
That's our
that an
responsibility.
event will occur and is immediately removed unless there is newsworthy from the event, but that it does not linger on there for a week after the event occurred.
And that's our responsibility to make sure that
Within
content,
those
that
departments.
homepage,
That's the
absolutely.
beauty of that homepage.
All right.
Yeah, that we can do so much stuff to really
So-
highlight information and bring these.
This is really a prerequisite. This is sort of like the non-negotiable. The old way of doing things, where basically everything percolated up from the bottom, has validity, but it can't be everything. Because the main face, the front page, the editorial page, the real stuff that's important at the time, no one was really watching that.
Well,
And that's was the quid pro quo of making this change. Give them the technical platform to do it, but changing content management policy to the communications team is really setting tone, and it's actually setting the sort of premier content that we're really pushing to us.
And it'll be a mixed bag of, it's very similar to managing social media in the sense of you want to schedule a certain amount of stuff and knowing that you have advocacy months and things like that coming up, but you also want to stay on top of the stuff that just kind of pops up. So it's a mixed bag of making sure that that's constantly refreshed, constantly updated. And we have been really looking forward to having something visually that we can put visuals out there that's going to grab the attention of somebody when they come on our website and get them to read a story or get them to read about something on another county. So
We're going to come up with a strategic plan so that we constantly have rolling features so that the information is consistently current and it's in line with county goals and
I
current
mean, if
news
it's the
issues.
fifth annual, most likely you're gonna get the sixth.
Right.
So
Right.
in the back of somebody's mind, on someone's desk or wherever,
Right,
should be that kind of reoccurring thing that, oh, by the way, this is coming up.
right. So we can
Within the
implement.
department or not.
Knowing that folks stay on a site for only so long,
Right.
the importance of that dynamics on that first page is something that we really recognize.
So the success of the county's online content will be measured by data related to this search engine optimization, the analytical data on traffic, impressions, and content sharing. That data is going to show us what people are looking at on the site and what people, what they're using and what they're sharing. And that's going to also help us evaluate moving forward and in the development of future digital engagement strategies.
Did you guys have a homepage content?
We did, yeah, I'm not sure.
Where
how-
did it go?
Big.
Could you read that, please? If you don't
Right here,
have it.
it's,
It's not in
what
the-
Here,
Here, I'll read it. Homepage content.
Yeah, I got it here.
You got it?
Communications department is primary responsibility.
Yep.
Okay, I got it.
Yep, we touched on it, and that we're gonna create a rolling schedule of features, highlights in conjunction with the county goals, current news and issues of importance to taxpayers. The requests from county departments for content to appear on the homepage of the website should be directed to the communications department for approval. The exception to that is the calendar events, because we want departments, when they're putting stuff on the calendar, and Mark, I'll let you elaborate on that, it's gonna push it to the news announcements, correct?
Yeah. So this, the features that they're using today to get information out there is still gonna happen.
And is there a shelf life? I mean,
Well,
so
and
do you
that's-
have,
That's
I
gonna be
mean,
our
36 hours, 24 hours
Part
after
of
the
the
event.
policy is we're gonna have
Is
to
there-
really hammer down on how long, put expiration pages for dates and times on pages, and we'll have to do that through the administration of that.
These folks have the option and the authority to remove stuff
Yes.
if it's not kept up to standard.
And
As
it's
a matter of
part
fact, they
of
have the obligation to do so, not just the right to
We try to spell it out in the policy so that it's clear to everyone that these guys run the show. And they have the authority to make those changes without question.
It's our responsibility, we're gonna be constantly reviewing that content and making sure that it aligns with the overall website objectives and demonstrates relevance to the citizens and, it's information that's important to the target audience.
Okay. One of the most critical pieces here is that you don't have outdated information anywhere on the website. Not just the home page, but throughout the guts of it, if you will. So I'm looking here and I see where we're going to review that once every 6 months. And one of the under responsibilities, I see that department heads are the subject matter experts. Departments that are expected to assign content administrators who will be responsible for developing and editing their respective web pages and social media sites. So essentially, we're going to have maybe more than one person in the department. There's going to be,
Usually we have one person in a department and then there's a backup.
And as far as the every 6 months piece, that's when they'll go through kind of IMTO's report card type thing, where we'll really be kind of grading it. It doesn't mean that we aren't going to physically touch those pages on a regular basis and be looking at them, but every 6 months, we'll be looking at not only content, but do they have, the proper formatting according to IMTO standards.
my only suggestion is essentially is that it's going to continue to remain within the purview of the department heads to essentially provide for the content of their web pages that, they'd be obligated to make sure that their information is up to date, is always up to date.
It'll be worked into their performance goals.
And I think that,
Their evaluations.
yeah, because one of the things that really will turn people off, and they'll say, that was old news 6 years ago. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that people see on the website and they say, this is ridiculous.
And I think, Commissioner, one of our roles as liaisons with the particular departments is to encourage that as well.
One thing that IMTO has done in the past, we've always had 6-month reviews of websites. We've been focused on, are they using the website correctly? Are they adhering to whatever guidelines? Are they having their contact information, their responsibilities, are those things defined in there? But we've never been really looking at the content itself. Is it relevant to current newsworthy information? Is it up to date? Is it outdated? That's never been our goal. So this bringing on the communications team to help with that, I mean, that brings on another level of review of these 6-month reviews for websites. I think it's really gonna have
Let me ask
an
you
impact
this.
on.
Do you see as departments are moving more towards Facebook, that they're going to dismiss the sort of older website
Traditional.
in the sense that events are posted, people like them, they communicate with their crowd, supporters, make their links on Facebook as opposed to a traditional, as Larry says, means of a website? And are you going to then also sort of keep that Facebook site for the departments as current as the website? I mean, I can just see this morphing into a variety of things, kind of chasing the technology, and yet with the limited resources that we have, fully agree, if you go and you see an event, oh, I wish I'd known that last week. More importantly, you have missed a filing, you have missed a deadline, perhaps if you were relying on the website to provide that information to you.
I think a couple of things. I would hope not that folks would forego a website versus social media. They are two products that work together, but one should never replace the other. The beauty of social media is to use it as a tool to direct web traffic back to your website. Social media is not where you go to expect to capture a bunch of information about a department. It's microblogging, they call it. It's short, little tidbits of information. So we would like to, if a department comes to us and says we would like to try social media, we want to make sure that they're trained properly to use it the way that it is meant to be used, so that we are still directing people back to our website. And we have a lot of great opportunities graphically on our website to do a lot of cool things, posting a lot of neat videos and putting them on the front page and things like that. So social media will be a tool to get people to visit that website and see that piece. So it's really about educating people how to use it properly. And if you put something on one, it should be on the other, and linking them together. And I don't foresee every department. Not every department in Cumberland County will benefit from the use of social media. There are just certain departments that, may want to create it just because it's what they think they're supposed to do, but that's not the best practice. We want them to come to us and say, what type of content do you plan on sharing? How frequently do you foresee yourself being able to utilize this tool? And if it's not a good practice for them, then I don't think we should just create it to create it.
But I know from 911, we heard this morning, that, while that banner may stream across the county website, staying home, weather advisory, blah, 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 you're sitting there either going out on Facebook, going out on a tweet, whatever, to your audience from the 911 Facebook. So that information actually is coming out probably faster, quicker than somebody sitting at home going to the county website for any of those telephone numbers that we may be posting on there or whatever.
And
So I'm only looking at this as how to collaborate all of these tools to the residents' best
and that's why
solution.
social media has become a great tool is because it's instant. Whereas, updating a website isn't necessarily something that should be changing. It should be changing regularly so that people are seeing new content, and it's not something that should change as quickly as social media does. But I think that's where we need to do a really good job too, at advertising to folks, up to the minute information, update information, follow these links. And you don't have to have social media.
That doesn't become complacent, and their focus is simply on
Right,
the next week's event in Facebook.
right.
And I also, I'm probably the worst person to talk about this, but can't you, Facebook pages have too many of a good thing? In other words, and I think that's kind of what you were talking about, essentially, is that I'm sure we have maybe 1,000 ideas for somebody's Facebook page, but do we really need in Cumberland County to have that many?
No, and there are some.
And so, there needs to be some, and I think that's good that you're talking about,
Yeah.
some kind of governance on this.
There are some departments that could just use the main county page if they just need kind of a little bit of social media, if you will. So we really want to take a look at that and make sure that it's being used responsibly.
And again, it comes down to then, the time that it takes to continually update, provide new information for that. This isn't something that's just going to happen by itself. somebody's gonna be spending time doing all this, okay? And that's why when we talk about down in the departments, when we have one or more, or several people that are updating the website, they have other jobs to do. So the question is this a priority, or does this kind of be like, this is like the fourth or third thing that I'm going to do today, if I get around to it? And that's kind of like, I think what we need to guard against, is to make sure that somebody is taking care of this, and that it's well coordinated.
That concludes the overview, and we welcome your feedback. $5 as far as prototypes.
I commend you for tackling it. I think that, anything we can do to make our website more user-friendly is positive.
Any of the current or most recent one had received, recognition and awards for, at that time, what that presented. So now we're at a different time, whatever. So do we have a estimated cost, estimated financial package?
We've already engaged with Civic Plus, it was about $20,000 for it, which included migration and an upgrade to the new platform. And training, we do training starting next week internally, and then we ourselves will be out there training on content administrators on how to update their information. And there is a expected launch date at the end of February, I believe. We will be giving Civic Plus a list of recommended changes to this first draft. I think Monday next week. We already have a bunch of changes we'd like to see happen, and some small, some a little bit bigger, but there's certainly time to make some adjustments and tweaks. But the benefit is, again, even after we've done that, it's still easily changeable. We can certainly swap images, and I think these guys are looking forward to having that opportunity.
And we plan to do the same presentation at the department head meeting next week. And we're really going to be combing through all the pages and getting back with the departments and to really do a comprehensive review of all the content out there.
I can just imagine, the front page of this having a link to the nursing home transition page. That could be right front and center, where today, you guys look all over. We have it in the spotlight, but you have to really dig to find it. This would be, such a more powerful tool to help promote those events and those things.
And if anything, for the seasonal photos that 4 times a year can be changed. The county's great for winter. It truly is. Looking for winter sports, summer, tremendous spring, fall, hunting, those kind of things that could migrate through the calendar.
We have a plethora of photos right now, but we'll be out there to take more. Community.
And this document is just the start. We figure as this progresses, we're going to be revising this, and we can, put addendums to it and date it as we move through the process.
So we hope to create some best practices, stuff to send out to folks for the web as well as for social media.
And you guys need to talk to me about the slideshow for the department heads.
And you do feel with this new design that we can have more flexibility as opposed to, we were like,
Our hands are tied.
Yeah.
Anytime you
Under
want
the
to get
current-
something done, just call up so-and-so at Civic Plus,
Yeah.
wait for them to get around, this one will be able to do it, so.
Oh, yeah, even things as simple as the names across the top, if we want to change one of those, we can just change it. We can change the word services to something else. We can change the word community to community engagement or something completely different by ourselves. In the past, it was a $300 charge to Civic, so they could change the icon, relink it, do all those things. So, we
This is good work, folks, so
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very
just don't
much.
screw it up.
Thanks.